I want to box on the box up and celluloid, Bok for short, I want to box. So today I'm reviewing the new album by IMPELLITERI, Chris Impelliteri's band, War Machine. So Chris Impelliteri's been around on the guitar shred scene since the days of the neoclassical revolution in the 80s. I think his first EP was 1987. He's done 3 EPs with his band and he's done 12 albums. This is his 12th. So quite a lot. He's worked with a lot of good singers, but principally Rob Rock and Graham Bonnet. So my sort of, when he first came to my attention, was in that era of the neoclassical shredders. I remember him being featured in the Guitar Heroes features of Kerrang. So back in, was it New Guitar Masters, I think it was called. So back in the days of Malmsteen and so on, Kerrang kind of had a New Guitars Masters feature. And over the course of a few weeks, they actually featured a lot of the movers and shakers in the new guitar scene. This is everything from Akira Takasaki to John Norum, Tony McAlpine, Paul Gilbert and so on. And later on in Impellitteri, now I heard a track on the Friday Rock Show which was All Day and All of the Night, I'll be searching for you, which had a blistering solo where he just kind of went up the and did a really high 22nd fret E bend. And he tends to do this a lot on solos. This is sort of his trademark. I just remember it being ridiculously fast, maybe too fast. But I quite enjoy it in a way. And then I caught a bit of his REH video at the time. So the REH videos were instructional videos. Vinnie Moore had one, which a lot of people remember being really good. And the first Paul Gilbert one as well. These are the most instructive ones. Impelliteri's, all remember at the start of that, he was playing over a sort of Black Star style backing. Shredding on his Strat, his Sunburst Strat, doing fast runs, doing a high bend. But the thing is, he had a lopsided fringe, so he was kind of his eyes closed with a lopsided fringe. What I'm trying to say is, he was kind of caught up in the wash, really. There was a lot of this about at that time in Impellitteri. Kind of came across as a Malmsteen type player, admittedly faster, but not much else. But I didn't mind the EP when I heard of it, and after that I just kind of never really heard his stuff from there on in. I had my Tony McAlpine, I had my Vinnie Moore, I had a bit of Racer X, and that was enough kind of neoclassical stuff for me. But in recent times, I've gone down a rabbit hole on YouTube, but 6 years ago they released the Nature of the Beast album, and I was pretty impressed. Rob Rock singing, who I knew from Project Driver, good sort of neoclassical metal. Impellitteri had kind of calmed down his playing a little bit and was more structured to his solos. He wasn't doing his high E bend as much. And I was like, yeah, fair play to the guy. We'll sort of come to this contextually. So I was interested to, hear the new album, and I've been following the video releases. So let's dive into it. So it opens with War Machine. I've got a few notes here. This is the title track. I've got a nice YGM vibe here. So there's a nice sort of Yngwie power metal vibe to this. It's got an evil mid-riff, a bit like Metal Meltdown by Judas Priest. It's got a halftime thing. It's a good opening song. This isn't going to reinvent any wheel. It's not going to get any awards for originality. This is basically well-produced, very well played, European style. American power metal with a European twist on it. Rob Rock's vocals, he hasn't really, he's not lost a beat since the Project Driver days. Maybe they tuned it down a half step, I don't know. But he's sounding great. The other things here, they've got Paul Bostoff in on drums. So if you're not familiar with Paul Bostoff, he replaced Dave Lombardo in Slayer in the periods when Lombardo wasn't in the band. Very good. I've seen him play with Testament. He was excellent in them. He's a great power metal, thrash metal drummer. Really, really good. So all the drums and guitars are really well produced. Not sure who they got into mix this, but it's much better mix than Nature of the Beast. The other thing with this track is it's got a catch, it's quite melodious. The Nature of the Beast album had that sort of more dungeonistic power metal thing. I think the fact they're on Frontiers, maybe Frontiers have been like, oh, can you get a bit more melody in than that? And that's pretty good. Next up's Out of My Mind. This was a video, I'm out of my mind with heavy metal. Yeah, this lyrics, there's no poet laureate stuff going on here. They're not going to get the Nobel Prize for Literature for this. But I really like this track again. It's a really strong track. Gripping guitar solo from Chris. Quite interesting, he actually does a lot of shredding, I think, on the bridge pickup, which is quite unusual, typically for fast picking, alternate picking, a lot of guys switch to the neck pickup, but there's a lot of aggression there, like a lot of fun. These two tracks are 3 minutes opening, it's 3:34, this is 4:22. So again, the album, these tracks are short. There's not one track over 5 minutes on this album. They're all over 4 or just under 4 minutes. Next thing we got Super Kingdom. Again, this is catchy. This has grown on me a lot, this track. More cheesy lyrics. It's about AI and the chorus goes, AI! But again, it's catchy. It's, you know, it's full throttle, but it's enjoyable. And then you've got Rothschild. This was 2 words, not one, so it doesn't get confused. This was a video, again, this was probably my least favourite of the videos released, but it is a good track. It's grown on me. Just a couple of notes, so it's got a good middle 8. It's nice sci-fi arpeggio. So Chris Impellitteri, he does an arpeggio passage. If you know, like the Jerry Goldsmith kind of movie scoring when he does the arpeggios, are that cool kind of interval he moves between arpeggios. That's what it's like to me. Really good. It's a good harmony section on it as well. So the guitar's great on this. And then you've got What Lies Beneath. This is the first sort of dud to me. 4 minutes 28. It doesn't really sort of bring anything to the party. So that's, I've kind of been passing this by. The solo's insane on this. Fair play. Then you got Hell on Earth. This has got a nice chunky riff. And the solo's full on. It's got a kind of, you know, staccato picking. Not as good as the other first 4 tracks, but it's a solid track. And then we've got Power Grab. I think this was the second official video. This is really good. You know, if you've heard this track. Again, this has got that, you know, it's got the neoclassical style soloing, but it's kind of got more that American, you know, power metal catchiness to it. I think when I was listening to this album, what it struck me was it's kind of like a shrapnel vocal album from the 80s, like a Racer X, Dr. Mastermind, there's those bands, but with more melodic vocals, better production. You know, if you imagine if you took Street Lethal by Racer X and produced it with all the bells and whistles now, that's sort of what you're getting here. Then we've got Beware the Hunter. This is one of my favourite tracks, actually, a later track. It's got a really cool kind of White Snake 16s riff, digga digga digga. Very melodic chorus, catchy. There's a cool Phrygian riff in it, which is kind of for the verses, I think. Rhythm guitar sounds really good on this. It's probably like the strongest mix for that, and it's very classic Impellitteri. Again, it's just 4 minutes 26. All these songs are really well arranged, which is cool because it's still got long epic solos. Then we've got Light It Up, and the lyrics are completely cheesy on this, but this is my favourite track on the album, I think. It's just really good anthem, it's really catchy. He gets his classic high E bend in on this. The lyrics are crap. I was talking to my mate about this, and it's all about, you know, doing a gig, and he's going, we hit the stage bang on 9 or something like that. But you know, it does what it says on the tin. You know, after a few listens, it really gets the juices flowing. The last 2 tracks, unfortunately, this album has gone insane, which, you know, it's got a crazy tapping solo, but I bet it's a weaker track. There's some annoying sort of delay overhangs in the gaps on this. I don't think the mix is quite as good. And then Just Another Day. The melody on this kind of reminds me of more of a filler track on a Vicious Rumours album from the late 80s, early 90s. And his vocal melody, actually, Just Another Day. He kind of reminds me of Carl Albert a bit, the late, great Carl Albert. Okay, so where's this album at? Like I've mentioned before, to me, if you come into it like, imagine buying a Shrapnel album now in the 80s with the bells and whistles mixes, it's works really well. The drums, rhythm section are excellent, particularly the drums. Impellitteri, it's a great rhythm guitar sound. His solos are blistering. He doesn't pause for thought much. So it was never his bag. His thing was, I'm going to fucking shred the fuck out of things. And what's interesting is, like, at the time, I thought like he got sort of, you know, lost in a wash a bit. But now a lot of the people who were doing the neoclassical thing aren't doing it anymore. Tony McAlpin's gone more fusion, or his last 2 instrumentals are pretty cool. Paul Gilbert's kind of gone more bluesy than that. He kind of left that when he did the Mr. Big thing. Other guys aren't doing it as much now. Vinnie Moore comes in UFO. He's gone more sort of bluesy classic rock. So this is quite refreshing. Really, what Chris Impellitteri is doing is keeping alive a classic guitar style of the 1980s and doing it very, very well. Kind of Michelangelo Battios kept doing that as well, that kind of thing. And he's got it in the framework of a solid band with some solid songs, like I say. I think I give this album a 7 out of 10. I think it's worth checking out. Some people might give it less, some people might give it more, but I think it's a solid release. And like I said, it does what it says in the tin. I think listening to this, the main thing that comes across is when you hear this, like I said, Chris Pelliteri's he's done the production well, they've gotten some really good to mix it. He's obviously got Paul Bostoff in, which is a bit of a coup for the band. Rob Rock's good. You just think about Yngwie and how he's not got great production, he's not got great mixing, he's not got great singers, he's singing himself. I don't think Yngwie's a bad singer. He's a bad singer compared to the singers he's had. He used to have some great singers. And you just wish Yngwie would do this. You just wish he'd get someone in alongside him to just do better. So anyway, check it out and remember to share and subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much.